Hello everybody and welcome to this week's Will Buy It video, the series in which I talk about the newest makeup releases. This was inspired by Samantha March's video series of the same name. I'll put her channel down below so you guys can check it out. But I do these kinds of videos every single Sunday here on my channel. They're always great fun for me to do. I really enjoy them and you guys seem to as well. So if you're interested in seeing this week's newest makeup releases, and if you're curious about my opinions, then of course keep on watching. I want to start off by speaking on this palette right here. This is a sneak peek from Menagerie Cosmetics. At the time of filming this video, we do not yet know what is going to be inside this palette. However, this is going to be a look at the packaging for this palette. This is going to be called the Killer Purr palette, and it's coming this fall. It is inspired, of course, by Lion's Menagerie Cosmetics' entire theme seems to be nature themed makeup. That's what they do. That's what their packaging is inspired by. That's what their colors are inspired by. It's really quite fascinating, and this apparently is no different. I look forward to seeing some, I would guess, safari tone colors, maybe some really fiery tones as well. I'm really interested to see what Menagerie Cosmetics will be revealing to us, hopefully soon. But yeah, I really want to get something from Menagerie Cosmetics when I'm done with my no-buy. I might just go ahead and do that. Victoria Beckham is revealing her new makeup line. This is going to be called Victoria Beckham Beauty. This is going to be a full-blown collection of some eyeshadow palettes. These are going to be called eye bricks. Some lid lusters, which are going to be crystal-infused shadow toppers. A satin kajal liner. I really do like this collection. I can't say that I'll be getting anything from it. However, I feel like if I had, money to burn on a luxury launch, I definitely would want to get several items because I really like how Victoria Beckham decided to really launch a quite sleek, quite luxurious looking makeup collection. It is obvious that you do have the basics in there. I feel like the Victoria Beckham beauty look always involves some sort of liner. She's included that in here. And also, the eyeshadow palettes themselves, you have some very, I'd say, sleek colorways, and you have some blue, and you have some fiery orangey colors, but then you also have the basic cool tone neutrals and warm tone neutrals, and then you have those shadow toppers, which kind of reminds me of what Natasha Denona has going on with the crystal infused stuff. I really do like this collection, and I think that Victoria Beckham is the latest celebrity to I would say get into on the quick money-making scheme of having a makeup brand. I will be talking more about celebrities launching makeup brands in this week's videos, in one of this week's videos, hopefully. But I feel like this is a launch that looks a little bit more unique. I definitely see people actually liking this, and I see, and I look at this as being a pretty well thought out makeup collection. It has all the kind of products that we would think Victoria Beckham would wear, but at the same time it's not basic. They've pushed it just the right way to still fit the Victoria Beckham brand of luxurious minimalism. But at the same time, it's a little bit different, and I really do appreciate that. However, moving on, let's talk about Makeup Revolution's new collaboration with Alexis Stone. This is going to be the Instinct palette. This is going to contain numerous shades of cool tones and warm tones. I'm particularly sorry, excited by the inclusion of a column of yellows in the larger palette, actually. Let's see. So there's going to be an Instinct palette, which is going to be an all-in-one matte palette with 28 pressed pigments from red to pink, purple, gray, blue, green, and yellow. And there's also going to be the Transformation palette, which will include 7 transitional shimmer shades. Not gonna lie, I like this collection. Do I love it? No, because I already had the James Charles and Morphe palette, and I feel like that palette will be able to dupe so many palettes. But I will say that I like to see a gradient. And I like how in this collaboration you have different columns dedicated to different colors, and there's a gradient present in each column. I like that. Will I buy it? No. Speaking of atrocities, let's talk about Morphe. Alright? They're releasing a 3503 palette. First, they launched the 350 palette that, for some reason, had everybody like just going nuts, myself included. Then they had the 3502 palette that thankfully not a lot of people bought into compared to the 350 palette. And now they have the 3503 palette. Thank goodness that fan finally switched off. But this palette, like literally this palette, like it's just every single other warm tone brown palette that Morphe has launched in the past, except it's a little bit more saturated and there's that pop of green in there that literally looks so out of place. I mean, like I'm looking at my phone, right? Just look at this. Like look at this palette. Like, doesn't it look like that green is literally like a sore thumb? Like, you can't like I can't convince myself, and I don't think I can convince anybody else that these greens actually look as if they're part of the palette. And I can guarantee you that every single person who's promoting Morphe or on Morphe's Instagram will have like that beautiful kind of like warm brown smoky eye with a pop of green, and that's all we're going to be seeing for the next week. Oh my goodness. I mean, it's a nice like way to experiment with color, but I don't want that in a third Morphe 350 palette. I just don't. I do want to talk about this. Now, I have a lot of mixed reactions with this. This is a collaboration between Madonna, you heard that right, Madonna and Too Faced. I do get that Madonna is trying to promote this album, possibly with this new makeup collection, but it's like you're gonna do it with Too Faced? Are you kidding me? And I can't imagine Madonna actually using Too Faced in her day-to-day life. Do you think she's really sitting in Lisbon using Too Faced? I'm just saying. I think that she just saw Too Faced as being like a really like eclectic out there brand, and I think she saw Jared, and I guess she thought that, oh yeah, this will be a good publicity stunt, or this would be good publicity in general if I collaborated with this brand because it's really out there, it's really trendy. I really do feel like Madame X is such like a different take on an album by Madonna that pairing Madame X and pairing Madonna with a brand like Too Faced just seems like the weirdest combination ever because there's just so much significance and they're just like really strong themes in Madame X. When it comes to the album Madame X, I'd really highly recommend just doing a little bit of research into the songs, the lyrics, the inspirations for the songs, especially if you're a Madonna fan. And then after doing that, I feel like you would understand my just confusion that Madonna decided to pair herself and this album with Too Faced. If we are talking about like which Madonna album or which Madonna moment would have been the best to pair with Too Faced in a collaboration, I think that her album MDNA would have been a great album to pair with Too Faced in a makeup collaboration because with that song that she did with Nicki Minaj, I'm Madonna, remember? That song, like that's Too Faced. But then Madame X, the album, I don't see that as being a good pairing with Too Faced. If we're talking about the actual makeup, which we should be, they have eyeshadows and a highlighter palette, Better Than Sex eyeliner, Damn Girl mascara, Lady Ball's melted matte lipstick, some pencils, a Better Than Sex mascara, and a matte lipstick. So they have a lot of stuff in here, and they seem to have curated these into sets that are supposed to, I would think, match Madonna's style. But at the same time, like, I'm not into it. I really am not. Moving on, I want to talk about the Balm. They're launching two new palettes, a Let's Look Under the Hood neutral metallic palette and a Let's Rev It Up palette. Now, one of these palettes definitely has a lot of cool tones in it. The other one has a lot of really colorful tones. Both seem to be beautiful metallic finishes and both are creams. I will say that it's been a while since I was like really obsessed by anything that the Balm released, and I mean, that's just because my preferences have changed and all of that. I don't think that this is necessarily a bad launch. The colors do look fantastic, and yes, cream formulas are interesting to work with, but do I want this? No, I do not. I can't really think of any way I can get inspired by this kind of launch, so this is definitely a pass. We have another rainbow palette, this time from the indie makeup brand Playing in Makeup by Yolando. Now, this is supposed to be the Jam Rock eyeshadow palette, and Yes, I love to support indie brands. You guys know this. But at the same time, I'm not a fan of like the super rainbow palettes. And yes, you do have like a gradient going on, but like I don't necessarily see like a whole bunch of like theme or story attached to these colors. It literally just seems like they just threw together a bunch of like really colorful shades and decided to call it a palette. And I will say that a lot of these shades are very similar, or they look very similar to each other, and that just turns me off with this palette. Now, this is a new brand called Starface by at Julie underscore shot. This is going to be their first product, and it's called the Hydrocolloid Pimple Patch. This is supposed to be a spot treatment. You're supposed to put it on a blemish, put it on a pimple, and these stickers, I would say stickers, are supposed to absorb fluid, shield spots from outside bacteria, and prevent skin picking. Now, I mean, okay, this reminds me very much. If you saw my Marie Antoinette makeup history video, I'll put it in the cards if you're interested to see that. But that video basically focused on me talking about makeup during the 18th century. I would highly recommend watching it if you haven't already. But if you don't already know, I will tell you that during this 18th century, they had beauty marks. And you basically used these beauty marks to cover up pimples, cover up blemishes. This really reminds me of that, except that these are stars. It's a nice concept. It's a really interesting concept, and it would be interesting to try. Is it my cup of tea? Not really. I much prefer to just simply not put like any kind of like stickers on my skin. I mean, it looks like a fun concept and it would be great if it worked, but is this some kind of thing that I'm actually interested in trying? Not really. These are going to be $22 each, and you get 32 patches per pack. Definitely not the most inexpensive thing, but then again, this is a skincare item, so I guess that you can justify the price when you look at it from that perspective, but at the same time, not too interested. I'm just being honest. Oh, okay, so MAC Cosmetics basically did a little bit of a sneak peek for some holidays 2019 launches. They have like these lipsticks. I'm not sure what these like pots are, but I definitely will say that I feel like with these holiday collections, from what this photo tells us, I feel like MAC might be taking a step further in terms of making their collections look a little bit more interesting, hopefully. This type of lipstick is definitely a collector's item. I don't see myself getting this kind of thing, but MAC Cosmetics, I feel like it's common knowledge that MAC Cosmetics has lost a lot of their prestige over the last few years, because if you look at how popular they were, I would say 5 years ago, and you compare it to now, their popularity has definitely decreased a great deal. And I feel like this collection is hopefully going to be a resurgence for them. I would hope. Let's talk about this. Oh my gosh, this is another indie brand. This is called the Beyal Cosmetics, and this is called the new Dream Book palette. Guys, it's just a ginormous rainbow palette, and so many of the shades look alike, and it's like, no. I mean, I don't I don't understand why indie brands feel the need to launch really big rainbow palettes, because it's like, sorry, I don't get it, because especially if you're a brand that's not very well known, why are you going to be launching another version of something that everybody has already seen before? You know what I mean? I don't get it. Oh, this is interesting though, from another indie brand called Omni Hearts Beauty. These are going to be some new single shadows that appear to be duochromes. I'm kind of interested in duochromes. I'm kind of interested in trying out some new duochromes, maybe. So I'm vaguely interested in this launch. I will say that this is one of the few launches, if any, in this video that I'm actually kind of interested in, because a lot of the other launches, as you can probably tell, I'm not interested in. But this one, I kind of am. With that, those are all the new makeup releases that I wanted to talk about for this week. Definitely a lot of duds this week. I just have to say it. I can't really see anything in this video that I'm really interested in, save for maybe those duochrome shadows that I talked about at the end. But even so, like, I'm just not interested. Like, I'm not like in love with any of these items, you know? And I don't want to get anything if I'm not like super interested in it, you know? And I mean, I did do a video, like I think it was last week that I posted it, in which I talked about why I thought new makeup was boring. And in that video, I basically discussed why a whole bunch of launches are boring to me. And yes, a lot of the points that I mentioned in that video, I'm feeling right now. Because yes, a whole bunch of launches can be interesting to me, but so many more launches, in fact, the majority of launches that I see are just boring to me. They're uninteresting. And I will say this, that indie brands really seem to come out with the best stuff. I don't like every single indie brand's releases that I see, but on the whole, like when I look at like the big picture, most of the launches that I really do like happen to come from indie brands. Just saying. But with that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching till the end, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, guys.